Photography to me is a catching moment which is passing and which is true. And I also believe that photography is a way to shape humans' perception. And more from my guest today on ViaMia.
The ViaMia show is sponsored by the following people.
Charlie's Chocolate Factory is a family-owned business operating since 1970. Charlie's has molded chocolates for corporate events, weddings, and holidays. For information, call 604-437-8221. Good Cleaning Services has been serving Greater Vancouver since 2008. For more information, contact Ivanka at 778-321-0174. Recording, rehearsal space, voiceovers, video editing in Westminster. For more information, fiascobros.com. Makeup services for television, movie, and photo shoots. For more information, visit victoriawan.com. Cuts and colors in Uptown Westminster. We welcome our stylist, George of Salon Caliente. For appointment, call 604-544-5104. Private investigations, security and alarm systems since 1972. For more information, call 604-251-2121.
I mentioned the word photography twice at the beginning for the reason. My guest today is a very unique lady, and even more unique photographer, Francine Roulston.
Thank you.
Francine,
Hi.
I'm glad that I made you laugh right at the beginning. Well, haven't had photographer on the show for a while, and not photographer of your caliber. I've met you through Facebook, and I've seen your stuff. I like the way you work, and we're going to talk about it. So we start at the beginning. It's always the best start. Mm-hmm. You had very early start.
10 years old, I got my first camera as a Christmas present and never looked back.
I just wanted to ask you how did you get your first camera? So I guess you found it under the Christmas tree?
It was under the Christmas tree, and it had the little cube on the thing, and it was color, and just started clicking away. And when I saw what I was able to literally develop, that was the creative side. I knew I'd found that was my outlet.
So do you think that what was stepping stone to your career, or you had it before you got the camera?
No, it's in my blood. My father was an artist. I can always draw. He was always hoping I'd be like him. But I found my forte through that little lens. That was it right there.
It's your purpose.
It's my purpose.
And your passion.
A big passion.
I don't like to define things or analyze, but I still want to know, is photography to you medium, or is it artwork?
It's art.
Yeah.
It's art.
Yeah.
It's an individual perception. It's how we see the world. Everyone views it differently, but it's a form of expression. And we're archivists. That's one thing about photography that people don't realize. We're environmentalists and we're archivists because we're capturing things and we're passing them on.
Yeah.
Maybe cougars one day will become extinct, but we'll always keep them.
Yeah.
We've got them. It's sunsets. It's people's faces.
Yeah. Well, I know that you also written some articles, so you're combining writing with photography, so you're a photojournalist as well.
Yes.
But the photography is still on the top of the list, right?
That one picture tells 1,000 stories.
Oh, I believe
really
that.
Does. It really
and
does.
everybody sees the story, everybody sees a different story. That's what I was talking about, the perception.
Yes.
And nobody's story is really wrong, right?
No.
If I see slight differences than anybody else, it's okay.
It's all right, yes.
Now, there was certain transformation a long time ago when the film became digital.
Almost obsolete.
So yeah, I just want to know how did you do during the transformation? Did you threaten that you would, because now almost everything is equipped by digital cameras, right? Every cell phone.
It was a challenge, and you adapt. If it's your passion, you adapt. And if anything, it's a lot easier because now you don't have to go through 14 rolls of film to get 4 shots, you know, right away. But it's being able to adapt and move on. And you have to be in that digital world. It's not easy, they're computers. So you're learning all the time.
Well, we're moving, right? But technology is moving, life is moving. So I guess we, like you said, we have to adopt if we want to survive.
If we want to survive.
Did the digital era or transformation make it easier on you?
Yes, it did. But I'm a diehard. It was really hard for me to give up my film. There's saturation that you get in film that you can't do with
What do you think that you can demonstrate it and kind of explain to us, maybe on those pictures, what you brought?
This is a once in a lifetime shot. This young lady let me walk away. This was taken with film. This is blowing up. This was taken with film. This was digital.
Okay, so the only one is digital, the one is leaning.
Yes.
Okay, so now can you maybe just give us a more detailed, okay, let's say what is it, cougar?
Cougar, yes. 4-legged cougar.
Thanks.
No, she's grainy because it was film and it's been blowing up. It also took a whole roll of film to get this 2 shots of her that I did get.
And now comparing to the one you said it's digital,
this is, it's softer. I used fill flash on these, which brought out the reds in that, and it gave me more control. This is the thing. With the film, you don't have the control that you do with a digital camera.
That is a beautiful shot of the cougar, but I have to say, like when you said structure, it has more depth, doesn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And it's that color saturation. And it was also the film that we were using at the time. There was certain films that we used for colors, nature. There was other ones we used for people, for skin tones and that. Yeah. So it was knowing that and working with it, and an awful lot of practice and trial and error.
Yeah. But now you adopted, so you're working with digitals.
I'm working with digital, and I'm really enjoying it.
No more dark rooms.
No, unfortunately. There was something magical, as you know, because your father was a photographer, and you grew up and you watched all of those pieces of paper, and all of a sudden the magic was there.
In black and white at the time.
In black and white. The texture, you can't beat the texture of black and white. No.
Well, the technology now, like I said, is making everybody a photographer because everybody's got the camera on phone. Everybody's got cameras. And now, just out of curiosity, what do you think about the selfies? And all these hypes? Okay, that's your answer?
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Taking a selfie with your arm out here, everyone's nose is this big. These instant cameras are all wide angle. So they're wide angle and they're going to focus on this. So you're taking this and, oh yeah, there's somebody's nostrils, cut it out. You need to be at least 6 feet away before you can do it. And quit taking them in the mirror.
Oh yeah, I know.
Please, it's
well, you're a professional, so this probably is driving you crazy when you see it, right? So.
And it's then I go, you're not really going to post that, are you? Oh, you did. Oh, okay.
and if we're talking about the taking pictures now, the angles where the people are, been taken pictures of. Sometimes I think, and I want to know if I see it right. If somebody is, lower than I am or higher, you either squashed or you're too tall. Is it because of the cameraman doesn't know what they're doing, or is it because of the angle?
It has a lot to do with the angle. It has a lot to do with body shapes. It has a lot to do with your features. If you've got a longer, narrow face, mine is square.
It's not only mine. If somebody takes it when they're lower, everybody, we all look like little noodles. So that's why I'm just asking.
It's perception. It's certain angles. Try to always go here.
Okay.
So I have a disadvantage a lot of times because I'm tall.
You're tall, yeah.
So I'm always getting down to other people's level. And then that way, it's not angular. It's not looking up. It's not looking down. You've got more of a proper perspective. And that's the same with the selfie. Don't go up here. Don't go down here. Try to keep everything shoulder length. So this is where you're right chin level.
Well, I watched quite a few of your artwork because, like I said, I had a chance to see your stuff. You brought some images which we will see later on, but you said there's one specific one you couldn't find.
Yes, unfortunately, and Rick. I really did try Rick. I looked all over. I was very fortunate and very bad in 1987. I got to see the Rat Pack minus Dean Martin, and I smuggled a AE1 1000 ASA film and a 300 zoom camera into the Pacific Coliseum and took some very, very wonderful and grainy shots of Mr. Sinatra.
And you couldn't find one picture?
I couldn't find them. I'm lots of moves, and unfortunately in March I'll be able to find it tomorrow.
Well, there are still those memories in your mind and nobody can take them away. But at least you reminded me something. Not that long from now, maybe a week or so, we are going to have a special event, tribute to Mr. Sinatra. And Abba Time, which is my friend Susan and I, were opening this event for Rick Valiant, who is a tribute artist. And it's great to know that, Francine, you're going to be there with us as our photographer.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to working with you.
I am too.
Because
this is exciting.
This is going to be great.
I'm going to do a lot of it in black and white because I want to capture. It's Frank's 100th birthday. Black and white is the only. It's the only way to go. It's going to capture that magic of going back to.
But you combine, right?
I can combine. Yeah. Yes, I prefer black and white, especially with people. Its era, its texture. With black and white, you're noticing the textures and not the colors.
The black and white is a novelty now, isn't it?
It is.
Not like it used to be. We see, I don't know why, when I look at black and white picture, if it's only me, I automatically go, this is old. Even if it's not, but it gives you a different way how you look at the picture.
Yes.
That's the perception we're talking about,
That's right? Yes, and there's just some things that, the color is all very well and nice, but I think this is going to be a tribute to Rick, and you and Susan are going to be in living color.
Well, I want to tell you something before we go to the break. But don't laugh. When I was little and I saw black and white pictures of people, I really believed they were black and white at the time. I felt so sorry they didn't have any colors. That's how I saw it. So, but I have more questions ready for you. We have also nice pictures to share, but we will be with you soon.
The ViaMia show is sponsored by the following people.
Charlie's Chocolate Factory is a family-owned business operating since 1970. Charlie's has molded chocolates for corporate events, weddings, and holidays. For information, call 604-437-8221. Good Cleaning Services has been serving Greater Vancouver since 2008. For more information, contact Ivanka at 778-321-0174. Recording, rehearsal space, voiceovers, video editing in Westminster. For more information, fiascobros.com. Makeup services for television, movie, and photo shoots. For more information, visit victoriawan.com. Cuts and colors in Uptown Westminster. We welcome our stylist, George of Salon Caliente. For appointment, call 604-544-5104. Private investigations, security and alarm systems since 1972. For more information, call 604-251-2121.
So we are back with the photographer, Francine Roulston, and we were talking about basic stuff on the photography and about that how Francine really doesn't care if it's digital film because
it's art.
You're a tough lady and you're going to survive doesn't matter what because this is not your job, this is your passion.
It's my passion.
Photographers, they tend to travel a lot. They want to see what the world can offer. I remember I talked to an architect and I asked him what he's interested in when he travels. Obviously, he said the building structures and cultures and stuff. So I want to know when you travel, what is your target?
It's the textures. I can look out here and I can see things. I can see things through the trees and that's. But it's also the people at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's the local people.
When you say texture, can you explain to me has no knowledge about photography?
It's black and white. You can see the shapes. You can feel things a little bit better. The angles. Mm-hmm.
You mean like 3D or something?
3D. It's like taking a small piece of something and focusing in on that instead of doing everything large and centered. Go and be different. Go in and I can see over here the copper on the top of the building and those are the things and those are the telling the stories. It's not just the pretty mountains and the pretty pictures. Yeah, it's going in and seeing the architecture because that tells so much about the spots that you're in because it's different everywhere you go. But yeah.
Well, why don't we share those pictures what you brought because these are beautiful. What we have right here on the set. Well, I like this picture.
This is.
Did you take this one?
This is my logo. This is my mascot. Okay. There's a story behind him that's unbelievable. And he posed. I've got great shots.
Oh, really?
He posed. He walked up to me. He looked like a big chicken. I got pictures of him. He heard the shutter, and
shoot me from right, shoot me from left.
And I could reach out and touch him, and it's full frame. And he strutted and he preened.
I can see the texture there. Now I understand.
Yes, this is the texture. You can see the feathers. It's almost three-dimensional that way, and there's little sparks of light, so nothing is flat. But that's.
Not that's great picture. So you do focus on people too.
Focus on the people, and this just tells a story. These children were oblivious to me being there, and that's the joy and that's the wonder. And nothing is more special than seeing parents or people looking at these images for the first time and looking at their eyes and knowing that you've got it, you captured it, and those little faces tell a story right there.
Exactly. Well, this is my favorite. This is my favorite, and you know why? Look at those hands. I really like this picture, how you caught the moment of playing the piano. It
was three images put together, no flash, very slow, and it just let it go. And they all came together, and it gives that illusion. That's what he wanted? This is what he wanted, and it's the same with here. I've known this fellow for years, and I wanted to capture those hands. He's got arthritis, he can hardly walk, and yet he can still play those drums. Nice. Wow. Yeah. This is Tatanka. This is...
Bison, or bison, or
bison. He's a wood bison, so he's smaller than the plains bison. Dead of winter in the caribou, climbed over a fence to take his picture. All of these animals have little red tags in their ears. You can't have man-made things in wildlife photographs. So we got out there and we're throwing snowballs at a herd of buffalo, waist deep in snow. And he turned around and he was getting mad at me because he started to roll his eyes, and I said, just one more. And he told the story right there. Nice. And I went back to the ranchers a couple of weeks later with this image and say, I wasn't really trespassing. Here is a photograph of Tatanka. And he said,
how far are you?
I'm pretty close. Probably that's full frame at a 300 zoom. I was probably maybe 12 feet away. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Pretty brave girl, too.
Yeah, the rancher said, lady, you're crazy. He says, I raised those animals and I don't climb over the fence. So thank you. This is powwow. These are the fancy dancers. I've got a native background, and the native powwows mean a lot to me. It's capturing our heritage that we've kept alive. That's seeing the colors. A lot of these dancers are young, and it's the motion. It's the motion and the color. This is a Sioux warrior, noble, very proud. He just stood there, and that was it. His makeup, everything was right down, all the regalia. Wow, nice. Well, thank you very much for bringing this. We talked about the black and white, we talked about the colors. When you say that you switch black and white from colors, I know there are events that, makeup and all these things should not be different when you take... When you're prepared and using it, I'll use yourself as an example. If we are going to do a black and white shoot, your makeup will be different. It'll
more dramatic?
A lot more dramatic. I always say go back to Google the old photographs of the old movie stars. They all have that laid-back sensuous.
I know,
they're making love to the camera.
I know it's beautiful, but then when you switch, when I have makeup like that, and you switch to black and white, then it's too much color on you.
It can be, yes, but so you always try to be prepared. You always try to go in and go. I always spend time with people ahead of time.
So it is. If we we're going to be working together in Colombia on December 12th, and you said you're going to be switching from black and white to. No, actually, we were going to be doing ABBA.
You're going to be in color.
So I'm going to be in color, so I don't have to worry about switching makeup. Okay.
Rick, on the other hand.
Yeah, I'll tell him to wear the lighter lipstick this time.
Yes, and a little easier on the kohl around the eyes this time, okay? Rudolph Valentino,
No. When you said that you're a photojournalist, they also write stories. Do you still actually do that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Do you publish your stories?
I publish. I do a lot of work for a lot of the First Nations magazines. There's a lot of interest now on everything that's going on. And my whole perception is photography and First Nations people, they've never been friendly, because you mentioned Natives and everybody thinks of dancing Indians because of the powwows, without realizing there's a tradition there.
Yeah.
And so I work diligently on trying to educate and showing people that it's not just First Nations cultures that are important, it's everyone's heritage, everyone's cultures.
And I know that you do some workshops. What are these about?
They're it's getting to understand your digital camera, and it's getting to know you, and it's getting to see what do you want out of this. Do you want to take snapshots?
So workshop for photographers or becoming photographers?
Becoming photographers, yes. And it's complicated sometimes,
No,
and
I
it's
believe that.
overwhelming. You know, you hit one of those buttons and there's 15 other apps and little gadgets that come up there, and it's hard to understand.
Well, you've been working with numerous people. And you know what I really like? I see you do a lot of homework before you are called to a photo session.
Yes.
You go there the day before. You do a lot of homework.
It's all about light.
I've never met anybody like you.
No, well, it's perfection. No one puts a higher standard on us than we do, and I don't want surprises. When I'm going there and I'm being paid to do a job, I want the best that I can do, and so you do your homework.
Yeah.
You go to the lighting. You see, if I'm doing a wedding, I want to see what the chapel looks like. I want to see where this is going to be. I want to know where the sun is. I know there's little tricks to people looking into the sun. It is rehearsals. Couples take pictures of them beforehand to see whose face is larger than the others, to know where they stand. Don't wait until the last minute to do these things, because then that's the amateur. That's the difference between someone taking an instant and then someone going out and being a professional.
And how do you feel about posing for camera? Because I've never been really good at it. I prefer with somebody's pretending that he's not there and taking pictures.
That's the only way to do it. I get my best shots are the casual ones. It's when you're not posing. There's nothing worse than everybody's tensing up and going, cheese.
I know,
You know, you're looking away and you say, you whistle and you smile and you catch them off guard, and that's it. And you're relaxed.
I've had quite a few photo shoots in I wanted to say past life, in the past, maybe past life too.
Past lives too.
And you know, I remember how the photographers were working, but nothing what I can compare to one movie I saw. I don't know the name. It was something from the 70s. And that was supposed to be about a photographer who's taking pictures of his models, but I've never seen that energy. He laughed, he screamed at them. He was working constantly, was so active, but he got that specific mood from them, what he wanted. And I felt like I would like to meet a photographer like that. But at the end, like 5-minute session, he was exhausted.
Well, you've met one, because I bring it out. It's the tone of your voice, it's the vibration, it's the shock, it's the reaction. And it takes time. You can't do it the first time around. The more you get to know that person and you go in and when I used film camera, people would be posing and everything, and it was just getting them to relax.
Unfortunately, we're reaching the end, so I have one question, because I saw those children on one of the pictures. How do they respond to camera?
They love it. They're naturals. Yeah, unfortunately, we lose that after a while.
I wonder when the time comes that we are not like that anymore.
And just
that
got to
we're
try
so
to
much
keep that
aware.
child wonder for us and relax with ourselves. We all have character in our faces. We're not perfect anymore, and it's just embracing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been talking to Francine Roulston, which is, we can find you on Facebook as well, right?
yes,
Like when we type your name.
Yes, type my name.
And I think your profile is open.
Yes, it is.
So
yes.
we can communicate with you. And Francine, don't know if you're familiar with this routine.
Yes, I am.
So can you please sign this cup for me?
Okay,
If
I
you
have
find-
to do this really tiny because I've got a big
I know,
signature.
we are getting into the end
All right.
slowly. And I'm going to prepare for something else while you're doing it. I have a gift from Charlie's Chocolate Factory saying thank you for being with us. Chocolates he's been molding for years. He
Yes.
decided to do something that is suitable to you as a photographer. So I'm sure that we can find it somewhere. Yes, that's it.
That's
Isn't it beautiful?
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you, Mia.
Thank
and
you for
I'm really looking forward to what's
work with
happening
us,
in a couple weeks from now. Yes, yes, it's going to be fun.
I really enjoy time listening to you. I learn a little more about photography, and hopefully you did too. Again, that was Francine Roulston, and thank you very much for watching ViaMia. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.